In this video, I'm going to show you how to add the Loop Connect widget to your app or website to start collecting payments in crypto. So the first thing we're going to do is set up a quick React app. I'm just going to use Vite as my framework, and I'm going to use the React template for Vite, and I'm going to call it Loop Demo Connect. I've created that. So let's open this in our IDE. And the first thing I'm going to do in here real quick is just go to the package file and update the React library that we're using to React 18 instead of 19. The Loop Connect widget doesn't fully support version 19 at the moment, so we're just changing it to version 18. So once that's done, we can go back and we can install the Loop Connect package, which is available on NPM. We're currently on version 0.7, that's the release candidate that I'm going to be using for the purposes of this demo. So I'm going to install that. And while that's kind of running, we'll hop back to our IDE and kind of jump into the code and add the widget. So before we start, I think to add this widget is really super simple. It's a couple lines of code, and it'll allow you to start collecting payments within minutes. So let's jump right into it. So I'm just going to remove this boilerplate code that comes with the template, and we're just going to add some just a header here. We'll call it Loop Demo Connect, and then we're going to drop our Connect component inside a div over here. We'll just give this a class name so we can put some styles on it real quick. I'll call payment container. And then while we're there, we'll just quickly add it into our style sheet. We're just going to give it a width of, say, 500 pixels, just to give it some space on the screen. And then we're going to jump in here and initialize our widget. So we're going to use the useEffect hook to initialize our component. And we're only going to want to run it once on page load. We're going to create an async function here, and we're going to then call that async function to initialize it. All right, so this async function, we're basically going to initialize our Loop Connect component using the init Loop Connect function that's imported from the Loop package. And the initialize component takes in a couple of parameters that you need to set before you can start using it. So the first one is the entity ID. This is the unique identifier of the entity that you're going to be collecting payments for. For the purposes of this demo, I've already created the entity and have the entity ID. I've also got the authentication token already generated. I can go through how to generate that token in another video, but for the purposes of this, I've kind of pre-created those, so I'll just drop them in here. So the entity ID that I'm going to be using for this demo is this one, and then I'm going to be using a JWT token to authenticate with the Loop backend. As I said, I've already created this JWT token, which looks like that. And then the last parameter I'm going to put in here is just the environment variable. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to connect to our demo environment, just so we can use one of the testnet chains to submit the payments. So those are the only three parameters that you need to initialize the component. Technically, you only need these two. We've just set this one because we're specifically connecting to demo. In the production environment, it defaults to production, so you don't need to specify the environment. So once we've initialized the component, we can then drop it in on our page. So we'll create it over here, and it's called the loop connect pane component, and it does take a couple of properties. The amount that you want to charge is one of the required parameters. This is the value in USD cents. So a value of 100 is 100 cents, which is equal to $1. So for the we'll just set that to $1 for now. And then there are a couple of other additional parameters that you can pass in here, all optional. I'm going to set two of them. And these are just the complete notification, which basically just says we want to see when the transaction and the payment is complete, we want to see a visual representation of that being complete. So it shows you the payment has been completed screen on the page. This is completely configurable. You don't have to have it on the widget. If you want to handle that yourself, you can do that too by just setting the complete notification to event only. This is the default value. So if you don't specify this field, it defaults to event only. So I'm specifically wanting to do it as embedded so that it shows up in the widget itself, so that I don't need to do any extra work there. And then the other event that I want to do that for is the confirming notification. And that is about it. That is all it takes to use the loop connect component on your page. So let's jump over to the web page. Let's start this app up. And I will show you. And there it is. You now have the Connect component on your page. The default state looks like this. You haven't connected any wallets, so you need to do that first to be able to use it. So we'll connect a MetaMask wallet. And then once the wallet's connected, you can choose networks if there are multiple available, depending on the entity configuration. The entity that I'm using on demo has both Sepolia and Solana DevNet, but since I've connected with my MetaMask EVM wallet, I only get to select Sepolia. If I wanted to select Solana, I would connect a Solana-enabled wallet. And then the tokens, this is also configured at the entity level. This entity that I'm demoing accepts these 4 tokens as a form of payment. So I can choose between any of those, can switch between them. It shows you your available balance and then a quick currency conversion just to see how much that's worth. So I'm going to pick USDC to pay with. If I click pay, I'll be asked to set my authorization, which I will do. And then we will wait for that to confirm on chain. And what you'll notice while we're waiting for that to confirm, what you'll notice in the code over here is nowhere in this code that I have to deal with any wallet connections, connecting to an RPC, changing of tokens, anything specific related to a blockchain. I didn't need to do any of that. It's all just kind of taken care by the Connect widget itself. So you don't need to worry about any of that sort of thing. And yeah, so after that was done, the payment got completed. So if we can go to this transaction hash over here and look at it on chain, you can see that it was successful, and the transfer went through successfully. Yeah, the payment was complete. And as I said, in the code over here, this complete notification to embedded, that just enables this kind of part to be shown here, so you don't have to handle this yourself. It just shows you that the payment was complete, and that the $1 in USDC was transferred. And if we look at the wallet address, you can see token transfers, that the money did come out of the wallet that I connected with, and the payment was made. So that really is how easy it is to start accepting crypto payments on your app or on your website by using the Loop Connect widget.